Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a video on my Kershaw Natrix really quick. This is an EDC folder from Kershaw based on a ZT model. It is the Kershaw Natrix 7007 in black, 8CR13 MOV blade, G10 handle scales with no liners. You do have the subframe lock, which is fantastic. If you don't know what that is, I can explain it in a bit. And yeah, it's a flipper design. It is assisted opening, and let's get to it. First off, a few specs. The knife is 7.5 inches open. We have a 3.25 inch blade, a 4.25 inch handle, and it weighs 2.9 ounces. That's right, under 3. For a 3.25 inch blade, that's not too bad. Blade shape is what I would call a modified Wharncliffe. It does come down, but it has a belly. So it's a modified sheep's foot, Wharncliffe, whatever you want. They do say it's a drop point, but Wharncliffe, it just seems more like a Wharncliffe to me, with a belly. They do have this really cool shape inside the blade. I'll try to bring that in. There you go. If you can see that there, the way it, come on, the way it kind of like cuts into the blade. It's a really cool design. As you can see, I've been taking the paint off of mine, and I'm going to leave that strip black. I think it'd look pretty cool. You'd have some very nice jimping up here. It is quite effective, surprisingly, and I really like it. One thing I want to point out about this handle, it looks kind of funky. I mean, the knife, to be honest, it did look kind of funky to me when I first saw it, but just looking at it and feeling it, it feels great. Like, I should point this out. If you're going to do some detailed work, it has this part where it rises, and then it just cuts off, and then it kind of has this rise again. So it's like this fluid motion, but then it has this cut in. So if you're doing some really fine work, you're going to be feeling really good because it fits you into your entire hand there. And I wear small to medium sized gloves, so like anything like that kind of cut, it feels great, and it really cuts. Full flat grind. I mean, it's really thin behind the edge. It slices like crazy. Yeah, let me talk about the lock here. This lock is called the Subframe Lock. Basically, what it is it's a frame lock, but it's integrated into this handle so that the entire scale doesn't have to be the frame. It's just part of it. The way it works is you have these 3 screws, come on, right there. 3 screws, and you can see them right in here. Under the pocket clip. 3 screws under there. There they are. And they're basically screwing down this lock here, and that's what's holding it in there. It is very, very secure. It's I don't think it's gonna slip up on me, but the only issue I have with it is that it does look kind of slippery up here, and it's hard to see because there's not enough light. Should have picked better light for this, but there you go. It just kind of looks like it's kind of just shaved over and concaved and stuff, and I mean that's all for comfort. But the rest of the knife, the G10, was very sharp. I shaved it down and made it a little bit more rounded on the edges. And that's what it is. It's just kind of rounded. And I feel like where the lock meets the blade is a little bit rounded too. But, I mean, a few times, if you use it enough, it'll just shapen up. The G10 is very comfortable. Very comfortable indeed. Very grippy. Not too grippy. I promise it won't rip up your pocket, but I wish it kind of did. Like I said, there's no scales in here, so it's just G10. It's very, very light. The pocket clip is reversible for tip up carry, left or right side. Let's see. One thing I do want to mention though is that this knife, when I first bought it, I started using it my first day, and I couldn't help but think that it reminded me of the Spyderco Tenacious. And they certainly do have a lot of similarities. Of course, tons of knives come in all black, right? G10, 8 CR13 MOV steels, but they did feel actually very similar. Just the way they were constructed, everything about them seemed very, very similar. Of course, everybody knows this knife. It's a classic. Yeah, it's like pretty much unbeatable at its price range. About around $50 here and around $45 here. I'm not sure which one you should purchase. If you want a light carry, very light carry, go with the Natrix here. Sorry, I was going to call it the Brawler. If you want a very light carry, go with the Natrix here. Very kind of eye-grabbing, very eccentric design. Like, they really went all out with the design. There's lots of cuts everywhere, whereas this one's just much more straightforward, much more down to business kind of knife. I didn't want to compare the two the whole video. I just wanted to bring this in and tell you that it reminded me of it, because it really truly does. They don't feel similar in that sense, but they're very alike. But at $50, just $5 away, you can't really go wrong. This is a liner lock, so in theory it won't be as strong, but there have been lots of tests done with this knife in particular with the same exact lock up here, and it's proven extremely strong. It does have full steel liners, so like steel sheets under the G10, same material that this one has, and this G10 just feels a lot smoother. It is weight reducted. This actually weighs 4.10 ounces, handle thickness of 0.45, so it's just over this, and this is extremely slim, but this is just over. It's really slim too. You won't really notice it. The only noticeable difference will be the weight and the way you open it. Other than that, they cut very similar. They really do. Terrific knives here. You can't go wrong with the Natrix for $45, the Tenacious for $50. I wanted to make a quick video about this one. Just tell you that my experience with it has been great. It really has been. Like, I've used it a ton for the past maybe like 4 months. Highly recommend it.